Baggedmilk, how you coping with this weather?
I don't know why I live here, man.
Everyone is asking that question right now.
It's like every year this happens, and every year I'm confused why I remain here. It's like I love Edmonton, I love the city, but when you go outside and you can't feel your face in 2 seconds, it's jarring.
But still, there will be a guy wearing shorts today to work.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I saw a guy yesterday. I was just out running some errands, and he just had like a T-shirt and a vest on. I'm like, good for you, man.
Good for you. My wife and I had a conversation. It wasn't long ago, and it was about the possibility of me ever moving. And I remember bitching about the destinations that my radio career has taken me.
Yeah, it's cold weather.
I started in Edson, went to Fort Mac, Prince George, Winnipeg, and Edmonton. And I'm like, why can't I get a job? Like, why isn't Phoenix calling or something like that? And there was sort of a bit of a break and a pause, and my wife interjected with, "You're not really a sunny disposition jock."
Yeah, you're an angry, cold weather, ice road trucker kind of guy.
You complain about the cold weather, and you complain about the hot weather.
Do you want to start with the Skinner contract? Probably,
yes,
eh?
Stuart Skinner signed a pretty nice contract for the Oilers. How you feeling about that?
A whole lot better than waking up this morning and the first thing I see on Instagram is Locke's toe. But yeah,
it's disturbing.
I think that for me, Stuart Skinner is an amazing story. I just kind of think about it. I was thinking about it just how rare it is that he's in his position. There's only 64 goalies in the NHL. What are the odds of the hometown guy getting drafted by the hometown team and signing a multi-million-dollar deal to be the goalie of the hometown NHL franchise? I love everything about the story. And on top of that, man, he's earned it to the point where I think this contract's a steal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Mike McKenna over at Daily Faceoff, former NHL goaltender, kind of said, listen, the Oilers got lucky signing Skinner in December rather than waiting until the offseason, because if he keeps playing the way he is, that $2.6 million probably would have gone over $3 million. So
easily,
a nice little bit of work from Ken Holland. Well deserved by Stuart Skinner, and I think that this is going to be a really good deal for the Oilers going forward over the next 3.5 years.
We were talking about this yesterday with some friends, and because I know a bunch of people from Ontario, a bunch of Leaf fans, and they were commenting, having a chuckle about where Soup's at right now. And I said, you know what's weird? There's something about this market for goaltenders in particular. It's like kryptonite. And I said, this Skinner thing might actually be a starting point for a new direction for goaltenders as a whole in Edmonton, because you're not bringing somebody in that had success or had a really good backup the year before with a superstar, and then comes here and just completely shits the bed, and then we trade him right away before his contract, and we end up eating a mill of his contract every year on our cap, and then he goes to Minnesota and stands on his head. Right? I said this is a very different story and a very different starting point for a goaltender in Edmonton. So maybe Skinner breaks that cycle we're in.
Maybe. And I also think, I also think that this is good for Campbell, because ultimately he's going to have the pressure of the price tag. Everybody knows how much money he makes, and that's probably to his detriment right now because he's not playing all that well. But having Stuart Skinner playing as well as he is kind of allows and affords Campbell the time to work on his game and get back to where he's going to be. Yeah. I don't believe that Jack Campbell is an .880 goaltender. I don't. He's going to get back to the mean. His career average is around .910, .912, .914. He's going to get back there eventually. I wonder how much the $5 million weighs on him. We forget the human side of this sometimes. He's like, oh man, I got to be the guy. I'm making all this money. I'm going to Edmonton, that, and this and that. But then Stuart Skinner, he's a guy that was raised here. He's heard the booze. He's probably participated in the booze. He's been here long enough that he said in an interview with Gene Principe that he's like, I grew up watching Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. This guy knows what it's like to be an Oiler in Edmonton. He knows what it's like to cheer for an Oiler in Edmonton, and I think that's going to help him in his career in Edmonton.
Is there a defenseman you can see the Oilers
lots of rumors
realistically trading for? Yeah, a lot of trade rumors.
I mean, there's a lot of names out there. Like even the other day, the Oilers were playing Nashville, and Matthias Ekholm's name came out. I thought he'd be good because he's you saw the way he shut down Draisaitl and McDavid the other day, and you go, whoa, that'd be nice. And then you see Joel Edmondson. His name has just been buzzing around Edmonton. He's got some term left on his deal, so that could be an option. I think that the Oilers probably need a shutdown D-man, a guy that can break up the cycle and keep the puck out of the net more so than
Not Jason Demers.
Like Jason Demers is an interesting one because he's been playing. He played 24 games down in Bakersfield, on his PTO, and now that we've got guys going down with injury, like Broberg is out for a little bit, Ryan Murray's out. I could see Demers getting called up just to be the 7th or 8th guy, but he hasn't played in the NHL in quite some time.
Yeah,
he was in the KHL last year, so I don't have like high expectations that he's going to come riding in on a horse and be the savior of the franchise, but can he help? Sure. He's a guy who's got 700 NHL games on his belt, and there's value in that experience, but I think they're probably going to make a trade for I don't know that it'll be Joel Edmondson, but probably a Joel Edmondson type.
I don't want to jinx it, but I have this feeling that McDavid is going to have a huge night tonight in Dallas.
I hope so. I mean, it's very, very rare to see both he and Leon kind of get shut down, and against teams that are below them in the standings, no less. So I'm hoping for a McDavid grudge game. And we got the Oilers Nation's Christmas party happening tonight, so we're all getting together to watch the game and have some drinks and some cocktails and hopefully not freeze. So I would love nothing more than a McDavid grudge game to kind of power us through the evening.
Beautiful. I wanted to touch on this quickly because you guys, when I said it the other day on the air, I mentioned this yesterday, both Grant and Jimmy went and looked at me like, yeah, whatever. So I'm hoping for a better response from you, Baggedmilk.
Sure.
It's about his toenail. No.
It's not about my toe. Okay.
That thing, that's going to haunt my nightmares. It's going to haunt my dreams going forward. That thing, I don't know what's going on.
Getting some help.
You got a situation going on.
It's funny because we talked to an expert today that can actually, she's got a possible solution. She's got a plan for my foot. She was like, you know what? It may never look like the other one. And I was like, we don't have time to get into it, but my other one looks just as bad as the one that I put a picture up of. So I saw, this was after the game on Saturday, I think, after both Connor and Draisaitl had 5-point nights. Anyway, it was the list of Oilers' all-time points leaders. And I was like, what? It's Connor's number 5 and Leon Draisaitl's number 6. I mean, we forget how long they've been here, but you're comparing them to some pretty significant Oilers.
Glenn Anderson was just ahead, and then Messier. And
did that surprise you, or is that or am I just an idiot?
It doesn't surprise me in the sense that just we look at these numbers all the time and just see how ridiculous these two freaks are on the ice. But it is just, it's amazing given the era they're playing in, given the guys that they're chasing on that list. And also, Locke, one of my favorite things to do when I look at those all-time scoring lists is just see some of the ghosts that are on that list that you completely forgot existed. That's the most fun I have in there. You go, oh my God, I forgot that he was even here. Yeah, it is really incredible what those two are doing. And that kind of lends to what I say all the time to people on Oilers Nation. It's just, we got to appreciate how excellent those two players are and what we get to watch on a regular basis. Because if you think about it, like Wayne Gretzky, who's a guy that they'd be chasing on that list, he only played 696 games in Edmonton. That's 9 years.
Yeah.
So those two have already been around almost that long.
Yeah.
So enjoy it.
Yeah.
Enjoy it because those two are really, really special and they're a lot of fun to watch. And even though we get mad at the team sometimes, those two always put on a show, even when they're not.
Hey, Darnell Nurse could pass Ethan Morrow tonight on the all-time scoring list.
Give him a raise.
There he is, Baggedmilk from Oilers Nation. We got a 7:30 start for the Oilers Dallas in Dallas tonight. Thank you for your time, my friend.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
The Locker Room for Always Plumbing and Heating. Weekday mornings on 95.7 Cruise FM.